What up? It's your boy Anon. I look a little tired because I was pretty much up all night listening to this album and Logic album, which I'm going to review both of them. Okay. Now, disclaimer. These are not facts that I am giving you. These are my opinions on what I heard listening to the Carter Five. Okay? I have nothing against Wayne. I'm from New Orleans. You know what I'm saying? I grew up listening to his music, hearing him on the radio and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I have no agenda. So don't, these are my opinions. Okay? So let's get into the Carter Five. Personally, I feel it was not a terrible album. It wasn't a bad album. But I feel kind of like how I felt about the Migos album. And I feel like this album, of course, had more content as far as more varying subject matter than the Migos album. But it suffers from something similar to how the Migos suffered. Now, the Migos, of course, talked about the same thing for 24 songs. Lil Wayne didn't really do that. He talked about different subjects within those 23 songs. But at a certain point, those subjects were getting kind of repetitive. You know what I'm saying? He was talking there's several songs sprinkled throughout the album where he was pretty much talking about things he already talked about. Then another issue really with the album listening in a whole is there weren't enough. I don't know. I don't want to say bangers, but there were a couple. There were good songs that had a certain vibe and a certain energy to it that I expect from Wayne. Not every song was like that, though. Of course, I don't want every song to have the same energy and stuff, but not every song was as interesting to listen to. I guess that's the word. As the others. You know what I'm saying? There were a couple of songs like where I don't know how to describe it. I don't really know how to describe it. Okay, so there's one song. Say there's one song. Let me check my notes and see a song that I really liked. So a song like I think the album actually started off pretty good with "Don't Cry with X" was good. "Dedicate" was really good. "Uproar" was really good. But then after "Uproar," it felt like it took a long time to get another song that was similar to those in energy, similar to those in just being interesting. And it takes all the way until pretty much Mona Lisa, which wasn't as good as Uproar in my opinion, but from after Uproar all the way to Mona Lisa, it was just like, just a lot of songs, you know what I'm saying? And then after Mona Lisa, we get What About Me, which was okay. Open Letter, that's the next song. So Mona Lisa, then another song, then Open Letter was interesting because I like the concepts of pretty much writing a letter saying, a dear world letter. That's pretty much what that song was, a dear world letter. And he just going through, telling us what's going on in his mind. He's pretty giving us an insight in his head pretty much on that song, in my opinion. And I always like when, I always like when rappers kind of move away from the typical rap stuff and go into, look, this is who I am, this is how I think type stuff. So I like Open Letter. Famous, I think Reginae is his daughter. I can't truly remember, it's not early morning, but Reginae is his daughter. I feel like that song just sounded like a song I would hear Eminem on. Like, it sounded like an Eminem song almost. I didn't really like it like that, but that's just what I thought. Like, listening to it, I'm like, I could really hear, Recovery M or Revival M on here, like rapping or whatever. And the concept is pretty much similar to Almost Famous off of Recovery, but I'm not saying Wayne's biting M or nothing like that. I'm just saying It's something I noticed. Problems I didn't really like that. And then once Snoop got on there, that's when it picked up again. Like it was a while of just a lot of average to kind of above average songs, and then Problems, which I didn't. It was I didn't know what was going on. And then Snoop came in with Dope Niggas, which I think that it went right back up again and then dropped once again. Like that's pretty much my issue. I'm not going to go down every single song, but that's just my point. My point is like they had a lot of good songs, but it felt like you're cutting through trees. I mean, cutting through a forest to get to them. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's one good song and then three okay and maybe one bad song and then another good song and then four. It just seems almost what's the word? It seems almost like a struggle to get through the album. It feels like it takes forever at a certain point. Like I said, don't take this as me saying it's a bad album, but that's just something I noticed, and that's just an issue I feel with a lot of modern long albums. Like a lot of albums were it's like they had long albums back in the day, but most of the time the artists knew how to make it work. It was average. I mean, like it was normal for you to have an album between like 18 to 20 songs. But now with everybody dropping 7-song albums, 12-song albums, 13-song albums, a lot of people, expect, okay, I'm gonna just get buku heat in that amount of time. I feel sure the albums give you all the good songs and kind of gets away from the bad songs as much. Not or but with a song that's over 15 tracks, is usually a lot of some good songs sprinkled in with a whole bunch of okay songs, and that's pretty much how I feel Carter 5 was. I think lyric wise, I think listening to it, Wayne is really gotten good at rhyming words. Like his rhyming ability is really good. His rhyme schemes, like being able to lengthen a rhyme scheme has gotten really good. His punchlines and his metaphors are still what you expect from Lil Wayne. I don't think Lil Wayne has gotten worse as far as rapping is concerned. It's just, the subject matter is repetitive. You know what I'm saying? Of course, he doesn't always say the same punchlines and the same things and stuff like that all the time. But you can pretty much tell what the entire song is going to be about by just listening to the first 30 seconds of most of those songs on the album. You know what I'm saying? Like Open Letter was a song that kind of surprised me because, it was deep and, he was going in. Even Famous kind of surprised me. I wasn't a fan of the song, but just the subject matter of Famous kind of surprised me. I enjoyed that he brought his mom. Like the album is pretty much circled on his mom. I'm pretty sure the cover is a picture of him and his mom, pretty much when he was real young. And he does look like his mom. So I appreciate that his mom was a big part of this album. They start out with a skit of her just telling how much she loves her son, how proud she is, and all stuff like that. So I'm glad that his mom was involved in it. I'm glad we at least got the album because it took a long time, and that's another issue too. Some of these songs you can tell were made a while ago. Carter 5, people have been waiting on Carter 5 for I want to say 6 years. You know what I'm saying? And some of these songs sound modern and they have recent up-to-date artists on them, but some of these songs sound like they were made at least 4 years ago, at least 3 years ago, you know what I'm saying? And the way that time and things are, the songs like that can sound really dated, even if it came out last year. Sometimes it could sound like, oh no, that sound like that came out 2017, that's trash, you know what I'm saying? But overall, I think it wasn't a terrible album. It was pretty good. I just think that the length of the album is what ruined it for me. I feel if the album, I think I said this about another album that I can't remember. If the album was cut to about 13 or 14 songs, where it was like, because I'm pretty sure I liked, the songs above a 4-star rating I think it was about 5 or 6. So if you took those 5 or 6 and then had like 8 of the okay songs, like if you would have kept like the Kendrick song on there, kept the Snoop song, like I think I like the Snoop song, but there's a list of songs on here that if you would have kept these songs and had just a couple of the songs, it would have been, I feel like it would have been a higher ranked album than me if it was shorter. But with it being lengthy, and of course I'm doing a star rating on individual songs when I rate it. So when the album is super long and I have to rate it, and it's too long and there's a lot of songs compared to the good songs, it brings down the rating a lot. I feel if 8 songs were taken off this album, the rating for this would have been a lot higher. So after rating 23 songs and averaging it out, the album gets about a 2.5 out of 5 for me. For me. That's just me. Now, if you put that out of 10, that's a 5 out of 10. You know what I'm saying? And pretty much that's me saying half of it was good, half of it was Not saying it's trash. Like I said, having half of your album is good. And it's not that Lil Wayne himself ruined the album. It's not anything super specific that ruined the album. It's the length. I feel the length is what brought down the album for me. I feel if the album was shorter and I still had the songs that I liked rated the way they were rated, the album would have gotten at least over 3 to 4 stars. But with the album being so long and so many songs and so much to weed through, and me losing interest at a certain point in the album, it really dragged the rating down for me. But that's just my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Tell me how y'all feel about Carter 5 in the comments below. Now I gotta get to talking about Logic. So I'll see y'all in the next video. That's it for me. I'm out. Too sweet. Deuces.